So in this video we are going to be learning about e-commerce further. Now in Universal Analytics we have already seen standard e-commerce and enhanced e-commerce, and we have dived into both of them. But as we know that Universal Analytics will stop collecting data from July 2023 and everyone is shifting to Google Analytics 4, and it is also what's recommended. So today we'll look into e-commerce in Google Analytics 4, right? And we'll follow the official Google Analytics for e-commerce tracking guide provided by Google. So firstly, we'll go to our analytics page, and under in reports, if you go to life cycle under monetization, you can find everything related to e-commerce. Firstly, there's overview, where you can basically, as the name suggests, you can find overview of the e-commerce transactions that are happening. So right now there are no values, but let's say I log into a demo account. Now I might be able to show you some values. Yeah. Again, this is the demo account from Google that I'm using. I go to reports under monetization. If I go to overview, you can see the options have reduced because again I don't have access to this account, but just to see the values. So you can find everything related to e-commerce here, right? Now let's come to the implementation of it. So let's go to Google Analytics, the guide that they have provided, Google Analytics for e-commerce. So here they are just saying that you need to add the Google Analytics for configuration tag to our website, which we have already done long ago. So yeah, let's just read this. You can set up e-commerce event to collect information about the shopping behavior of your users. Events enable you to quantify your most popular products and see the influence of promotions and product placement on revenue. This was just the definition of measuring e-commerce on Google Analytics 4. So they have given some recommendations before we start. They say enable debug mode, so you can see events in real time and more easily troubleshoot issues. Then they are saying review the custom dimension and metric limits. So we have certain quotas or certain limits for custom dimension and metrics, and we have seen that if that limit is reached, then you can archive some of the dimensions or metrics which you are not using, right? Then third one, set currency when sending revenue data to ensure revenue metrics are calculated correctly. Then set each e-commerce parameter you have data for, regardless of whether the parameter is optional or not, right? So parameters, for example, one parameter could be product name. It's just saying that set each e-commerce parameter you have data for, right, even if it's optional. Then use the sample e-commerce website to see an example of how to tag your website. So let's move on to the implementation. So these are the following actions that you could do in implementation of e-commerce using Google Analytics 4. So let's say, firstly let's see the migration from Universal Analytics to Google Analytics. So if you have already implemented e-commerce for Universal Analytics, these are the steps you could follow. You could use your UA e-commerce implementation to populate GA4's e-commerce events, or you could replace your UA e-commerce implementation with GA4 e-commerce events, right? Then this is another guide they have linked, which you could follow to migrate from Universal Analytics to GA4, but we are not going to be looking into that in this video. So this is a guide you could follow. Clear the e-commerce object. We have seen this in action when we created a data layer variable for the data, when we created the data layer push tag in our enhanced e-commerce video. So this just prevents multiple e-commerce events on a page from affecting each other, right? What you're basically doing is you're clearing the previous e-commerce object. Then come the different implementations that you could do. So firstly, view item list. So when user is presented with a list of results, this event is sent. View item list event is sent, which includes an items array parameter. So the items are displayed, right? You can see item brand Google, category uh, adult, category 3 shirts, category 4 crew, category 5 short sleeve, right? And you can even find the tag configurations here. So this is the tag configuration. The tag type is GA4 event. Event name will be view item list because user is presented with a list of results, so they are just viewing the item list. Event parameter name. So as we know, it's stored in a key value pair. So it's just that. Then variable type, which is data layer variable, and that is your e-commerce items, right? Then trigger. So when do you want it to fire? When event name equals view item list, right? This is basically the data layer push tag that you will create using custom HTML, and this is your GA4 event tag, which you will then use to send data to Google Analytics 4, right? Then similarly, you have other implementations as well. This was just for when a user is provided with a list of items and they see it. This was just one action. So there are multiple actions like select an item from a list. When a user selects an item from a list, then this data layer push tag will be created again using custom HTML. Then there's something for view item details as well, and similarly add or remove an item from a shopping cart, then initiate the checkout process. So there are methods of implementation, and they have given the data layer push event as well, and the tag configuration and the trigger configuration as well. So following the Google Analytics guide for e-commerce will be really beneficial, as they have provided pretty much everything that you will need to set up e-commerce in your Google Analytics for using Google Tag Manager. Then there's initiate the checkout process, then make a purchase or issue a refund. So there's a implementation method for that event as well. Then they've even shown how to apply promotions. So promotions are just advertisements that you could advertisements of your products. Yeah, so the example could be banners displayed to promote a sale that you have on certain products. So for that you could create a view promotion event. It will be named view promotion, and the data layer push, this is what it will look like. Again, you can find the tag configurations for those as well. And this is an interesting topic because you could even use a custom JavaScript variable. So where we are now using a data layer variable, you could even use a custom JavaScript variable. This could suppose if you feel that your data layer variable is the structure is a bit rigid, or if your website does not support a data layer, you could use a custom JavaScript variable as well, and it would return the e-commerce data object. So it could be helpful when you're working with custom dimensions and metrics, right? Then this is what your custom JavaScript variable would look like, and as I said, it would return the e-commerce product data, right? So even they have said the same thing, that if you choose to use a custom JavaScript, you can use it in the same manner as you would the data layer. So where we select data layer, you could just select custom JavaScript variable, and again they have given the tag configuration for the same, and even the variable settings, right? So this is, I have just given you a walkthrough of the official guide of Google Analytics for e-commerce tracking. They have pretty much given you everything you will need to set it up, and as I said, even the smallest details such as tag configuration, trigger configuration, even those are present. So it is highly recommended that you follow these. And yeah, that's pretty much all for the video. So we saw that coming from Universal Analytics to Google Analytics 4, we don't have things like standard e-commerce or enhanced e-commerce anymore. It's just e-commerce in Google Analytics 4. And yeah, you can find it here under monetization, which is under reports. So regarding e-commerce, we have in Universal Analytics we have completed standard e-commerce, enhanced e-commerce, and now for Google Analytics 4 as well, we've covered how to set up the e-commerce and how to measure it. Yeah, that's all for the video. Thank you.